Assalamu alaikum. I am your host Muhammad Shiraz. Welcome to the program Computer Programming Concepts. This is a program number 22. In this program, we will continue our discussion about pointer. Dear students, in earlier program, you studied about pointer. You learned that pointer is a mechanism to access memory location indirectly. You know that memory space is reserved for a variable and there is an address to the memory space. Through pointer, you access the memory location of the variable indirectly by using the pointer mechanism. In today's program, we will continue our discussion about pointer. We will study how to access array using pointer. So let's start today's discussion. A pointer variable can hold address of other values of the same data type. A pointer variable can indirectly access value of another memory location by using static operator. For example, we declare two variables, int x, static y. In this statement, there are two variables declared. Variable x is a simple variable that will hold a value of integer type, while y is a pointer variable. Data type of y is int. It means that this pointer variable can hold memory address of integer variable only. We initialize x to the initial value 5, then pointer variable y is initialized with the address of x. This statement $x will return the address of variable x, and that address will be assigned to the variable y. Once you initialized pointer variable with the address of another variable, then you can access the value at that memory location by using pointer mechanism. In this statement, static y is pointing the value at address held by y. Here in this expression, static y plus 1. Static y will return the value of x as y is holding the address of variable x. Static y will return the value of x, that is 5. 5 plus 1, 6. And thus the new value of x will become 6. So in this example, you should notice that by using pointer, we can change the value of that memory location which is pointed by pointer variable. Static y is pointing the value held at address held by y. The expression static y equals to static y plus 1 is static y is pointing x, that is y. The current value of x is 5, so 5 plus 1, 6. New value of x will become 6. You can access arrays by using pointer as well. You should note that you should remember that array is a named list of elements having all the values of the same data type, and each element of the array is accessed by using name of array and index number of that location. You should also remember that name of array represents the starting address of the array. Here in this example, an array is basically a const pointer. You can use the array symbol with a pointer as well. In this example, we are declaring a pointer variable x of integer data type, which means this pointer variable can hold address to integer values. Then we are declaring an integer array of size 10. Then we are initializing pointer variable x to the third location of the array. A2 will return the address of the third element of the array. And then in the example, for int I equals to 3, I less than equals to 3, and x I plus plus. In this statement, x is a pointer variable that is holding the address of A2. xi is the same as ai plus 2 after the increment operator, and xi plus plus will move pointer to A3. We will exercise this concept through an example later on. Integer math operations can be used with pointers. If you increment a pointer, it will be increased by the size of whatever it points to. It means the value of pointer will be incremented by one memory space according to the data type of the variable. Here we have declared an integer array A of size 5. Then we have declared a pointer of data type int, and pointer variable is initialized to A. You should remember that name of array returns the starting address of array. Therefore, we have not used ampersand symbol with this name. Normally, when we initialize a pointer variable, we initialize it with ampersand symbol followed by the name of variable. But here A is not a simple variable. Instead, A is the name of array, and this name of array returns the starting address of array. That is why we have initialized the pointer variable to the starting address of array by using the name of array. This statement will initialize the pointer variable ptr to the first address of array. Then ptr plus plus, this increment statement will increment the value of pointer variable by one memory space. As you know that 2 bytes memory space is reserved for integer values. That is why each increment operation here will increment the value of the pointer variable by 2 memory spaces. Here static ptr now will point the first element. After ptr plus plus, it will point the second element. Static ptr plus 2 means the starting address this time plus 2 will increment the value of pointer variable by 2 memory spaces. That is why ptr plus 2 will point the third location. Similarly, ptr plus 4 will point the fifth location of the array. You can increment or decrement the value of pointer variable. Increment, decrement pointer variable changes the address of one memory location. An int point variable increments or decrements the address by 2 is the size of int is 2 bytes. A float pointer variable increments or decrements the address by 4 memory spaces is the size of float is 4 bytes. Let's study this concept through an example. Here in this example we have declared an integer array with the name A. Array is initialized in its declaration. There are 5 values in the initialization of the array. That's why the size of array will be 5. Then we have declared a pointer variable P in the following statement. Pointer variable P is initialized to the name of array, and as you studied earlier, that name of array will return the starting address of the array. That's why at this statement P will be initialized to the first element of the array. Then inside the loop we are accessing each element of the array by using pointer variable instead of using the name of array. First time I is initialized to 0, I less than equals to 5, condition is true. Printf static P. P currently is pointing the first element of array, therefore P will display the value at first location, that is 5. Then the value of P is incremented by 1. This statement will increment the value of pointer variable by 1 element. That's why after this increment operation P will point the second element of the array. Then loop body will be repeated. I plus plus, value of I will be changed to 1, 1 less than equals to 5, yes, condition is true. Print f will display the value of the second element of the array by using pointer variable. Then the value of pointer variable is incremented by 1. It will again increment the value of the pointer variable by 1 element. So after this statement P will point the third element of array. The value of I will be incremented by 1 again. Now the value of I will become 2, 2 less than equals to 5, condition will turn out true, and printf will display the value at third location of array. Then P plus plus will again increment the value of the pointer variable by 1 element. Thus after this statement P will point the fourth element of array. I plus plus 3, 3 less than 5, condition is true. Printf will display the value at third element, that is 6. Again P plus plus will change the value of the pointer variable, and the pointer variable will be incremented by 1 memory space. Now after this statement P will point the fourth element of array. I plus plus 4, 4 less than 5, condition is true. That's why printf statement will this time display the value at fourth element of the array. Then P plus plus will change the value of the pointer variable by 1 element. I plus plus, the value of I will become 5, 5 less than 5, condition is false, therefore control will jump outside the body of loop, and thus our program will be terminated. Let's execute this program on the computer screen. This is the same example. Here in this example we have declared a pointer variable P. of data type int, we have initialized an array with the name A, and array is initialized to 5 elements. In this example, you will notice that each element of array is accessed by using pointer variable without using the name of array. At this statement, we are initializing the pointer variable p to the starting element of array, as the name of array returns the starting address of array. Thus p will be initialized to the starting address of array. And then by using loop, in first iteration, the first element will be displayed, then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the second element of array. In next cycle, the second element will be displayed, and thus the value of pointer variable will be incremented again. After the second increment, pointer variable will move towards the third element. Similarly, each element of the array is accessed by using pointer variable. Let's execute this program. You see on the computer screen that each element of the array is accessed by using pointer variable. As we studied in the example earlier, that you can access the value stored at the address held by the pointer variable by using static. But a special point regarding array is that you can use array symbol with the pointer variable as well. Let's exercise this concept through an example. Now here we have initialized p to the starting address of the array. Now p0 will point the first element of array, then the value of I will be incremented by 1, and now p1 will return the second element of array, and then p2 will return the third element of the array, p3 will return the fourth element of array, and p4 will return the fifth element of array. Let's execute this program. You will see that it gives the same output as in the earlier case. This is another example for accessing each element of the array using pointer. In this example, we have initialized array to the 5 elements, then pointer variable p is initialized to the first element of array, and then by using loop, the value at each element of array is changed by using pointer variable. P is initialized to the first element here, then I equals to 0, I less than 5, condition is true. At first instance, static p is currently pointing the first element of array. Static p multiplied by static p. Now the value at first element is 5, 5 multiplied by 5. So the square of the first element will be calculated, and then the value at current address held by p, that is the first element of array, will be reinitialized to the new value returned from the expression. So the value of the first element will become 25. Then loop cycle will be repeated. New value of I will become 1, 1 less than 5, condition is true. Now p is pointing the second element of the array after p plus plus statement executed in first cycle. So here now p is pointing the second element, static p, value at second element, that is 4 multiplied by static p. So 4 multiplied by 4 will return 16, and the second element this time will be reinitialized to the new result returned by the expression. Thus, the value of the second element will become 16. Then P++ will move pointer variable to the third element of the array. Then I++ will change the value of loop counter. Value of the loop counter will become 2, 2 less than 5. Yes, condition is true. And now static P is pointing the third element of array. So the value at third element is 3, 3 multiplied by 3. New value returned by the expression is 9. So the third element of the array will be reinitialized by using static P, and thus the value at third element will become 9. Then P++ will again increment the value of the pointer variable by one element, and now after this statement pointer variable will point the fourth element of array. Loop cycle will be repeated. I++, the value of I will become 3, 3 less than 5. Yes, condition is true. Now static P is pointing the fourth element of array, and the value at fourth element is 6. That's why static P multiplied by static P will return 36. So the new value of the fourth element of array will become 36. Then the value of the pointer variable is incremented again. This time pointer variable will be moved toward the fourth element of array. Loop body will be repeated by incrementing the value of the loop counter I++. The value of I will become 4, 4 less than 5. Yes, condition is true. A's pointer variable is pointing the fifth element of the array this time, and the value at fifth element is 9. So the expression static P multiplied by static P will return 81, and thus the fifth element of array will be reinitialized to the new value 81. P++ will again increment the value of pointer variable by one element. Loop counter will be incremented by 1 again. New value of I will become 5, 5 less than 5. Condition is false this time, and thus control will jump outside the body of this loop. Following the body of this loop is another loop. Through this loop we are accessing each element of array by using name of array followed by index number, just in the same manner as you studied earlier. This time I equals to 0, I less than or equals to 5. First time A0 will be displayed, then A1 will be displayed, then A2 will be displayed, then A3 will be displayed, then A4 will be displayed ultimately. And you will see in the output that while initializing the array, we have initialized array to the values 5, 4, 3, 6 and 9. But in the output you will observe that the square of each element is calculated by using pointer mechanism. Let us execute this program on the computer. This is the same program. You see that we have declared integer array and we have initialized it to 5 elements. This is a for loop that is used to calculate the square of each element of the array by using pointer. First we have initialized pointer variable to the starting address of the array. A is the name of array, returns the starting address of array. That's why we have initialized pointer variable to the name of array. This statement will always calculate the square of each element of the array, and then square will be assigned to the specified location of the array. And this statement p plus plus will change the value of pointer variable. It will increment the value of pointer variable by one element of the array. And then the following loop, this loop will simply access each element of the array by using name of array. Let's execute this program. You should notice that we have initialized array to the values 5, 4, 3, 6 and 9, but in the output you will observe that the square of each element of the array is calculated. This is the output of the program. You see that A0 contains 25. The value of the first element of the array is changed through pointer mechanism. Similarly, the value of each element of the array is accessed and changed by using pointer mechanism. This is another example that is used to access each element of the array, and we want to calculate the sum of all elements of the array by using pointer. We have declared an integer array A, initialize the array to 5 values. It is not necessary to always initialize the array to the 5 elements. Then we have declared a pointer variable static p. I is a loop counter and sum equals to 0, and some variable will hold the sum of all elements of the array. Then pointer variable p is initialized to a, that is the starting address of array. I equals to 0, I less than 5, yes, condition is true. Sum equals to sum plus static p. As p is currently pointing the first element, so static p will return 5. 5 will be added to sum. Then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the second element of array. In the next cycle, static p will return the second element of array, and thus 4 will be added to the current value of sum. Then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the third element of array, and in next cycle static p will return the value at third element of the array. That value will be added to the current value of sum, and then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the fourth element of array, and in next cycle static p will return the value at fourth element of array. The value returned will be added to the current value of sum. Then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the fifth element of array. Then in next cycle static p will return the value at fifth location of the array. The value returned will be added to the current value of sum, and then p plus plus will move pointer variable to the next element I plus plus 5, 5 less than 5, condition is false. This control will jump to the statement followed by loop, and that is the statement at line number 8 will just display the final result held in the variable sum. Let us execute this program on the computer. You should observe that here variable sum is holding the sum of each sub expression evaluated. We have initialized pointer variable to the initial address of the array that is returned by the name of array, and then value of the pointer variable is incremented by using pointer variable, and then the value of the pointer variable is incremented by using increment operator. We can decrement the value of pointer variable as well. Decrementing the value of pointer variable will decrement the value of pointer variable by one memory space. Let's execute this program. The output of this program will be the sum of all elements of the array, and you see the sum of all element is returned by the variable sum. Let's study an example how to decrement the value of the pointer variable Suppose we initialized P to the last element of array, and then you access each element of the array by using pointer variable, and here we decrement the value of pointer variable. When you execute the program, you will see that now the output return is the reverse of the elements of array. This is the value at the 5th location of array, this is the value at the 4th location of array, this is the value at the 3rd location of array, this is the value at the 2nd location of array, and this is the value at the 1st location of array. You should keep one point in mind regarding this example, that here we are initializing the pointer variable to the 5th location, and therefore we have used the ampersand symbol because the name of array is followed by the index number of the element. Now A4 is pointing the 5th element of array, and ampersand will return the address of that location. So P is initialized to the 5th element of array, that is, now P will contain the address of the 5th element of array, and then by using loop we have displayed the value at each element of the array. Initially, in first iteration, static P will display the value at the 5th location, then P minus minus will decrement the value of pointer variable by one element. After this statement, P will point this 4th element of array. Then in the next cycle, static P will display the value at the 4th element of array. After this, P minus minus will decrement the value of the pointer variable by one element. Now static P will display the value at the 3rd location of array, and then P minus minus will decrement the value of the pointer variable by one element. After this statement, P will point the 2nd element of array. When the 2nd element has been displayed, then P minus minus will decrement the value of the pointer variable by one element, and now it will point the 1st element of array. In next iteration, static P will display the value at the 1st element, and then P minus minus will further decrement the value of the pointer variable. Then I plus plus, the value of the loop condition will become false, and thus our program will be terminated. Dear students, in today's program we studied how to access elements of array by using pointer. We need to initialize pointer variable to the starting address of array, and you should remember that the name of array returns the starting address of array. Then each element of array can be accessed by using pointer variable, just by using simple pointer implementation. We will continue our discussion about pointer. We will study a bit more about pointer in next program. Till then, Allah Hafiz.